I have a client who gets paid $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for each client that they get. And on our conversation today, they were talking about how they're not nearly as fulfilled as they were before they started making that kind of money.
Way back in the day, I've read a book called Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. It's his biography. And before anyone would come and work at Apple, his very first question was, is this person going to fall in love with Apple?
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2189, here's why success is always changing. The reason I disappeared from the frame when you were talking is I thought I had that book. I have a different book. It's not the book you were talking about. Talking to a client today. Been working with this client for a long time. Huge fan, great person, doing great things in the world. And recently, they switched their business and now they're doing a lot of like high ticket stuff. So they work with very, very high net worth individuals with emotional intelligence and relationships and just working on the inner stuff. And they've gotten some really, we're talking, I don't know the exact number, but anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 to work on this specific program.
Nice.
Great money. Awesome. And that's what they wanted. They said, I'd like to test this high ticket thing out and see what happens. Awesome. Love it. Our conversation today was around the fact that they don't feel nearly as motivated to do that type of work anymore. They don't feel fulfilled at all when it comes to that. I won't say that. That's putting words in their mouth. They don't feel nearly as fulfilled.
And as they thought they were going to, or as they used to?
As they used to.
Doing that work?
Yes, because they did the same work before, just in a different way with more people.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't feel like they're having nearly the same amount of impact. They're impacting one person very deeply because they're working with them for a long period of time and going through the work, but they want to help a lot of people. That's why success is always changing, because you know what you think you want until you get what you want and realize there are pieces of it that you like and there's pieces that you don't. Maybe you like this more than you thought. Maybe you like this less than you thought. I don't know. I'll tell you this. One of the things, so I thought I was going to be a mindset coach who was going to have call after call after call after call after call after call.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have calls, but not the amount that Alan does. And I very much enjoy that. I love the fact that my calendar is not booked all day, every day, because I like doing the stuff behind the scenes that I didn't. Well, I think I always kind of enjoyed doing certain stuff behind the scenes. But I wouldn't know that unless I got to this point. So that's why it's so valuable to continue the process and continue the mission and continue the journey, because you don't, I'll speak for myself. I didn't know what success actually was until I achieved quote unquote success and realized there are a lot of pieces of this I really enjoy. And a lot of this sucks and it's a lot different than I thought it was going to be. Some of that is par for the course, and some of that you can go back to the previous episode and you can change the approach. You can change the strategy based on what you're doing. That's the thought for today.
When I go on other shows and I tell my story, not always depending on the context and the listener and how much time we have. So I usually don't do this unless we have a certain amount of time. But I talk about the 4 buckets of success and how we all go through all 4. And statistically speaking, most people never get to the 4th bucket. The 4th bucket is what you and I got to in our 30s. And you'll understand in a second. I don't know if I've ever said this to you. So the first bucket, you are, and I'll use me as an example, but I want everyone thinking of themselves. You are unsuccessful externally and unfulfilled internally. I was a cart kid and a busboy at a golf course, and I was wildly unfulfilled, and I was also very unsuccessful. And again, I was successful compared to my peers, but I made minimum wage, and I hated my job, and I hated my life, so unsuccessful. Okay, that's bucket 1. That's where we all start. No one is born, I am successful and fulfilled. That's not a thing. Bucket 2. Figure out how to make success. Kevin and I made 6 figures in our early 20s. Fuck yeah, baby.
Late 20s for me.
Oh.
Late 20s.
I made 6 figures in my early 20s. Successful. iRobots, Instada Technologies, Tyco Safety Products, Oz Development, Cognex, Inside Sales Engineer, Outside Sales Engineer, Global Product Manager, Climb. Very externally successful. I went from painting up in Maine for minimum wage in the hot sun to basically $180,000 US per year within like a 4-year period. That's crazy. It appeared like overnight success from the outside in, I'm sure. In hindsight, I wrote an article about this. Even though that basically started when I started high school. But anyways, so I went from $8 an hour painting houses in Maine, US, in New England, to almost $200,000 a year within a 4-year span. I was externally successful, but I was internally unfulfilled. I just talked on the last episode about I did very well, but it wasn't fulfilling work for me. I sold industrial automation equipment, GE, Frito-Lay, Unilever, which Ben & Jerry's, all these companies. Vermont, Connecticut, and Western Massachusetts were my territory, and one thing I will say was really cool is I got to see all the manufacturing. It was actually really fascinating. But I was on the road. I had to have lunch and dinner and sales and meeting people. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan necessarily. But I did very well. So external success and internal fulfillment. So bucket 1, not successful externally, not fulfilled internally. Bucket 2, very successful externally, definitely not fulfilled internally. Cognex had a motto, work hard, play hard. And I used to say work hard, play harder. I drank too much and too often. I didn't take care of my health. I was unfulfilled. I was spreading myself too thin. Third bucket. So car accident happens at 26. I turn my life around. I find personal development, personal growth, self-improvement, fitness, happy, healthy, productive, and fulfilled as hell. But I liquidate all my assets. I paid off $84,000 worth of college debt in my early 20s. I had $150,000 in a Vanguard account when I started Alan Lazarus LLC, what you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. You know it, baby. I wanted to bring personal development to the masses. Good luck getting speeches at high schools and colleges with that tagline. So, fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, 43 photo shoots, 3 fitness competitions. I'm doing it. Social media, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. And I'm very fulfilled. Super fulfilled. Internally. Love my life. The athlete lifestyle was fucking awesome. Holy shit. I was napping at noon. It was the best. But I was unsuccessful. I liquidated all my assets. My net worth went down, 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 all the way fucking past zero. And I was super fulfilled, but I couldn't sustain it. And that was probably 7-8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. And then Kevin and I, overnight success.
Yes, now we're here.
No, now we're here. No. The first 2 years in business, Kevin and I grossed a total of $13,000. Not great in New England. That is lower than minimum wage. And now we are wild successes with, but no, the truth is we made more in July of this year than we did the entire first 3 years in business. And so we had a $100,000 a month in July. We're doing very well. I'm very grateful. So now we have finally reached the fourth bucket. So the first bucket, unsuccessful, unfulfilled. Second bucket, successful. Ooh, not fulfilled. This kind of sucks. Then you flip the script. I'm fulfilled as hell, baby. But you run out of money, so you can't sustain it. Also sucks. Fourth bucket, you are super successful and super fulfilled. And the work you do in the world not only is paid well, but it also brings meaning and purpose and passion and fulfillment. And that's a mountain that gets higher as you climb it. And that's where we finally got. It took us 30 years. I was on a podcast yesterday, and this woman, I don't know her age because I didn't want to offend her and ask her age, but I think she was in her 40s or 50s. And I said, it took me too long to get to the fourth bucket. She said, it sounds to me like you got there pretty fucking quick, man. And I'm like, no. I've been working on that since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I was like, why is everyone so fucking miserable, right? And I think it took us way too fucking long, personally, but we did it. And now it's just don't lose it, and that's sustain, which is a whole nother conversation. So anyways, I digress. What was my point of all that?
I have no idea.
What was this episode about? I would love to tell you I'm joking.
Here's why success is always changing. So success, you think it's going to be a one thing. I would argue that now it's not about sustaining. It's about sustaining and rediscovering is what I would say. Because there's days where I come to you and I'm like, dude, I'm not fulfilled. Like something needs to change. I'm not fulfilled, right?
Yeah, redesign. You got to redesign.
So I don't think you ever get there. It's just you always get closer and closer and closer and closer. I think I'm the most quote unquote successful I've ever been because now I know success to me is not just business. It's fitness. It's my relation. It's all of that stuff. It's all of that. But it takes a lot longer to get to that place.
Yeah.
A lot longer to get to that place.
4 quadrants.
Again.
You know it. The y-axis.
No, you can't. You just gave 4 buckets. Now you're going to give 4 quadrants.
That's the same.
Same things.
I'll connect it, I promise.
Okay. We do have to hop after this.
I know. Y-axis, success, 0 to 10. X-axis, fulfillment, 0 to 10.
Yep.
Upper right quadrant is the bucket you want to get to. Bottom left quadrant, 0 success, 0 fulfillment, is where you start. You got to get from the bottom left to the upper right. And that's a full-time job. That's what this podcast is really trying to help people with. We don't want you to just be successful. We want you to be successful and fulfilled. And we want your success to be a byproduct of who you are and who you aspire to be. And I think that's why entrepreneurship is so appealing, because it has this promise of you're going to be, not only will you be successful as hell, you're also going to love what you do. Bullshit. No chance.
If
what the economy pays for is usually boring as hell.
If you could only be one, if you could only be successful or fulfilled, which would you choose? You have to choose.
Do I get to be with Emilia?
Yeah, nothing else changes.
Success. I can have a bigger impact with success. They're too connected. That's an impossible question. But
that's my
successful
job.
And in love?
I don't know.
I like achievement, man. I'm biased. I tried to not care about it for a while.
Okay, what about this? You could either have health, wealth, or love. Just one.
Health.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna choose that.
Yeah, love second, wealth third. For you, it's wealth first, I think.
I think probably.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have enough money, somebody would take advantage of me and love me. You know.
Hey, been there.
Yes,
I'm good
for sure.
I'm good.
But
I'm not.
That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing is you don't have to choose.
Yeah, no.
Now,
to design.
If you don't choose one, you have to do a really good job of designing, and you have to get better at everything forever.
I do think you need to know your syntax, though.
Yeah.
What about you?
What?
For me, it's success first, fulfillment second. I tried to flip those after my car accident, and I lost myself.
Same.
Success first, fulfillment second. Makes sense. That's why we now have our podcast used to be a personal development focus with success principles. Now we're a success focused with personal development principles. And in case you haven't noticed.
I think what we're trying to do is it's like level up yourself so then you can level up your life. But if we only always talk about internal stuff, just like if we only talk about external stuff, it's only one half of the coin. So I think what we're trying to do is mend those two together, and you can become the most successful externally and internally version of yourself. That's the goal.
That is the goal.
That is the goal. All right, cool. All right, if you are looking to become the most successful version of yourself, you're listening to the right podcast, number one. Number two, make sure you got the right journal. We have the Next Level Dreamliner. Make 5 minutes a day. That's it. That's all you need. 5 minutes a day. If you can't do something sustainably, it's not going to be truly valuable. It is designed so you can do it sustainably. We're going to redesign it in the very near future, but it's on Amazon. We'll have the link below. I know Alan is using it every day. I'm out here jeffing because I'm in survival mode right now. And you're probably thinking,
too, man.
Okay, Alan's jeffing too.
I got to out myself. I'm jeffing too.
Kev, why aren't you doing it? It only takes 5 minutes a day. I'm asking myself the same fucking question.
Because we're not perfect.
That's right.
October 2nd, 2025, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the exact step-by-step process to create your own system of success. So if you feel like you're winging it, come to this meetup. It's totally free. The link will be in the show notes. October 2nd, 2025, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to take you through a presentation from step by step by step. You will leave with the step-by-step roadmap to create your own train tracks towards your dreams.
It's like free coaching.
It is, basically. Yeah.
It's like free coaching.
Free group coaching.
Free group
It's a
coaching.
group.
Free group coaching. Still free coaching, though. Same bucket. Coaching.
I think one-on-one is way better, but sure.
I think so, too. But it's like deep. It's deeper in the bucket. You know, it's like sometimes...
it's more valuable than a podcast.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, you make iced coffee and the sugar all goes to the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
That's the good stuff right there.
That's the good stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
That's one-on-one.
That's one-on-one.
coaching.
That's one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice. Okay, nice.
But you know how you get that level? It's not the bottom. It's right above the bottom. That's where some of the flavor sits. That's
on
a
the
meetup.
ice, on the top
That's
of
a
the ice.
meetup. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
No,
Caramel,
well, yeah.
swirl.
Caramel?
I don't know, man. Whatever.
Caramel?
Caramel.
Everybody says it a little bit different.
Caramel?
All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to get on out of here. We're going to caramel our booties on out of here. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we will be here every single day to help you get there.
Keep reaching for your full potential. Next Level Nation.